So what does entrepreneurship mean to me? I think for me, it's about being passionate with a hint of crazy, about a vision that you want to bring forth to change lives in a positive way.
Entrepreneurship has many definitions, and to each and every entrepreneur, I'm sure it means something slightly different. Generally speaking, it's the process of finding a solution to a problem and creating a viable business around it. Yet it's so much more for so many people. It's a way of life, it's been a way of financial freedom, and some people became entrepreneurs because they absolutely hated working for other people and they've always dreamed of being their boss. In other cases, you have the accidental entrepreneurs who never even thought of being an entrepreneur, just one day came up with a solution to a problem they personally faced and it somehow turned into a business. Then you have the individuals who found efficient and more cheaper ways of doing things. And then the Elon Musks of the world who really want a better future for us all.
Steve Jobs is one of my favourite entrepreneurs, and he says this one really cool line: the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are usually the ones who do. So you have to dream big. Just look at the Apple iPhone. It's changed how we communicate, navigate our cars, order food, everything. I don't believe Steve Jobs was different to any one of us. He just had the courage and curiosity to chase his vision.
But for me personally, I think there are many aspects and I find it sometimes difficult to express it. And I'm sure it's been molded over time. The fact that an idea can turn into a real life tangible product or service with the potential to help many millions of people across the world is just outstanding to me. And I'm sure there are many of you out there that have had so many ideas, yet startups are reported 9 out of 10 fail. So why have me and Ams been at it for so long? Well, I can't tell you why, but I can tell you it's like a drug. It's addictive. The running around, the constant learning, the fires, battling obstacles, it just keeps us going. The thoughts of one day creating something truly amazing to be able to help is what keeps us going. Even in my most recent business, it was centered around helping people create websites and mobile apps, connecting founders with developers and designers, being able to create something they loved, bring it to fruition. Funnily enough, the business was called Fruition. Although we did make a small amount of money, I really had to close it down, and there are many reasons as to why.
Medicine, I feel, has fed into my journey in entrepreneurship. The skills I have and how I work in medicine are all transferable. I don't think I could have ever embarked upon entrepreneurship without having first become a doctor. Because to solve a problem, you have to get as close as possible to it. And for what we are about to reveal, we are at the core of it. And when I say we, I'm referring to people, you, me, all of us, at the core of education. I love being a doctor, a great honour, privilege, and it's a dream I'm living, alhamdulillah. Don't get me wrong, there are down days when I am not happy, but that comes as part and parcel of the job. When you compare entrepreneurship and medicine, it's very different. Medicine is a journey that has been trodden on by people before me. So there's a method to passing, treating, delivering care, and getting to the end. I can always ask someone more senior for answers. Now with entrepreneurship, sometimes there are no answers, and no one has walked that same journey you're taking. But there's something special about entrepreneurship, where it pushes your belief systems, motivations, creativity, leadership, negotiation skills, and so much more all to the edge. That's the thrill of it. You're doing everything and learning so much. That's the challenge, and I love it. Even in failure, I found after a little bit of grieving, I love it. Even when I'm not rewarded a penny, I love it. You go from writing pitches to creating videos, to management, to writing financial plans, to government proposals. You have to do everything.
Me and Ams have had a fair share of failings. We've argued as co-founders, we've had previous businesses break down, but to create something of a real difference that can help so many people is what keeps us going. A few of the things I've learned from a very short period of entrepreneurial experience is you have to believe in yourself. The way Ams believed in me and I believe in him. You have to have a clear vision, and you have to have an amazing co-founding team, because you know, after years and years of hard work, it may still fail, and you need these people to have your back no matter what happens.
Now let's not paint a fairy tale. I failed a million times. been rejected from 101 applications that I've made. And the worst feeling probably was when something I had was blown out of the water by a company who had more money than us, so we just couldn't compete. The first project I started was called Inspire a Million. A simple goal. I wanted to inspire 1 million individuals. I kept a tally chart on an Excel sheet where I counted every attendee at every talk I delivered. But I realized more was needed. Inspiration only goes so far. You need plans, you need information, you need mentors, you need insight, you need to learn, you need to action it all. There's so much more to it. So I then set up the School of Wealthy Minds. Now I want you to listen to this part closely on why running things on just free energy doesn't work in this sphere always. Everyone shouts we should all go back and do it for free. That's a very naive way of thinking. Going somewhere to work and spend time for free implies privilege. For those from my background, our salaries don't support just us. It's a family salary. It's a salary that's split up 100 times. So when you ask for someone to go somewhere for a day, they're giving up rent money, mortgage money, money for their parents, money for their children. How do I ask them to give it up for free? Anyways, I was naive too, so I tried the model. I learned no-code web development, got a website, registered, and even managed to register as a CIC so I could apply for government grants. Now it was set up, I was doing the talks. Few joined me on my mission. There was no business model, no financial model to support the ecosystem of education I was trying to introduce. It was pure volunteer energy, except most of the time I was the only volunteer. All will never volunteer. There are extremes. Some people will always do it for free, and some people won't do it unless you give them £1 million, but most people are in the middle. The challenge is, how do I mobilize all of those people in the middle? Time is worth a lot, so what you spend it on has to be worthwhile. I was asking top bankers, lawyers, engineers, doctors, designers and more to give up days to teach for free. Each person's day, I'm sure, would be worth a lot. I couldn't afford it, so it collapsed. I haven't fulfilled my promise. I made it out. My life is very different to my peers who are with me at school. I promised myself that I'd go back and give others the ticket I had. Education. Powerful, high quality education that opens up opportunity.
The thought of something working, that little 10% of hope of something taken off the ground is enough for me and Ams to give it a shot. If I'm honest, secretly, I've always wanted to have a startup of my own. Something I can build from scratch. Something that helps people. I've always come up with different ideas. I've always shared them, long before I even graduated medical school. I used to always get excited by it. But ultimately, they've all failed, people have shut them down, and I've had too much critique and was too conscious or too cautious to pursue them. However, I feel I've learnt many lessons and I hope to share with you one day. I'm a strong believer, if you're crazy enough to aim for the stars, at least you'll land on the moon. I do feel at times some of the ideas we got scared of too early by our competitors, and maybe we should just stuck together, had each other's back and gone through the process. Entrepreneurship isn't about the highs, the IPOs, the glory, everyone talking about a product. I think it's the lows, the difficult times, the time when you're grinding, working in your bedroom that really give it the sweetness when it does become successful.
I co-founded another company and that also ended up in heartache. It was again focused on education, but increasing awareness of opportunities within medical education. It was hard. We were balancing full-time jobs and doing it, funding it. Friendships were even torn at one point because of the sheer stress. And in the end, we failed and had to stop. But this is the game. You can't fear failure, and you have to accept it when it comes. But I questioned everything. I don't have money to waste, but I at one point saw it as a waste of time, money and energy. It was a real low point and I was broken. I did want to quit, but part of me kept looking at the positives as if it was a redirection. And throughout all of this, I had my wife by my side and my crazy co-founder, Abdul. I wasn't going to quit. Never. something fruitful was growing in the background. The Scrubbed In podcast. Now myself and Abdul joined forces for the first time as co-founders. A podcast started purely to share our journey, started to do very well. It gained traction very well. Now we were both designing, creating, editing, filming, writing, building, all over again. We loved what we were building again. We'd some days be both on call till late and meet up at 1 a.m. to record shows. We then trialed education through podcast. It did amazing. So we created an app. We put all the entrepreneurial skills into action. And it worked. It's sustainable and it runs. I'm proud of it. It's nothing that fills my pockets. It actually costs us a lot, but it works. Students and doctors like it. It helps people learn, pass exams, and treat patients. That's a positive impact, so I'm happy. The podcast and Podcases app were little wins. We're still growing and working on it, but it's for sure a badge on my chest. But we're both dreamers. Stupid dreamers, some people call it. Believe me, for the last 3 years, we've had phone calls at 3 a.m. in the morning, talking about how we want to change the world, how we want to bring quality education into the hands of everyone, to change lives around the world. The Podcases app wasn't going to do it. We needed to think bigger. Don't get me wrong, we also had 3 a.m. calls on the verge of quitting. We would never utter the words quit, but down, dead in the dirt. No money to invest into projects. Tired, beaten by the game. But weirdly, we loved this. They were just problems to find a way around. This is where I feel I belong. I failed a lot of projects. I've been successful only on a tiny scale. But I feel alive. I'm learning so much every day, always trying to solve the next problem, always on the edge of pushing myself. And when I go to work, boy, I love being a doctor. There is no reason why I can't dream this big. What? Because I might fail and be embarrassed? I'd rather die in my efforts and hope of doing something great. For myself, life can't be lived on a conveyor belt. There are big problems on the table in education. We're focused, passionate, and driven. We've both rejected training jobs this year to reveal the new project. Stay tuned.
So here we are again with yet another idea. Except this time, we're doing things different. I've got an amazing co-founder, an amazing team. And what me and Ams really want to do is we want to socialize education. We want to put it into the hands of everyone. Except this time, we're doing things slightly different. We're going to bring you on board with this journey. We want you to share it all. We want to hear your critique, your feedback. We want to share our progress. A lot of the times, you hear startup founders kill it, smash it, making millions of years, and you never hear their journey. You never hear the difficulties, the obstacles, or the small victories. But we believe you are part of this journey as much as we are. And even more importantly, this platform belongs to you just as much as it does to us. And I really do truly hope together we create something truly beneficial. I really do believe entrepreneurship is the key for us to make a real difference to people's lives and to have a genuine impact and to be able to truly love what we do every single day. Funnily enough, I guess it was the same way education gave me and Ams a ticket to pursue this whole new world, inaccessible to people like us, growing up in the council estates of London, going to state schools. So here we are, I guess, at the next chapter of our life, and we want to join you and work together in seeing where entrepreneurship takes us, because we really do believe the future is amazing and the education is social.